Why is the sentiment that men have to like grind so hard and they can't balance like a relationship, can't do both when like women do it so easily?
Women often date outside of their race because they have to, not because they necessarily want to.
Because they're white, and because I feel like I might come off more dominant, right? Because I'm black.
This other white girl was next to me, and she was doing her little pick me, stepping in front of me, kind of just like pushing me out of the way, making this like weird ass eye contact.
Dated this white guy and I told him I like men with long hair. He grew his out. Then I broke up with him because I don't date people pleasers.
Now I'm trying to see fine talking about. Fine. Hold on, that's actually fine. Hold on. Wait, hold on. No, but for a serious note, I think with aging a little bit, like before when I was in high school, I was always a girl who was like blacks. Straight black, straight Negro, straight nappy beat a bead. Yeah, straight. Nothing more, nothing less, only that. But I think that past 6 months of my life, I have realized I don't have a preference anymore. Well, I'm not gonna say preference because people be using that word wrong. I would be open to date any man, like race-wise. Like he doesn't have to just be black, which is crazy because this is the thing with maturing. Not even maturing. I've been very mature. I guess this is the thing with just growth. This is the thing with like developing. This is the thing with growing in age and like, yeah. This is the thing with finding yourself, right? Yeah, because before you probably thought you knew yourself, and like obviously you get older and you realize, wait, I don't actually know myself as well as I thought I did, which is definitely how it's been life recently for me. I realized like, no, because it's not even about, I think the thing is, like, I've always thought any type of man could be attractive. Like, yes, I've thought white boys were attractive before. I never thought romantically like I would be with a white boy because they're white, and because I feel like I might come off more dominant, right? Because because I'm black, but
Hold up. She said it herself. I didn't say it. She feels she may come across more dominant, but she likes white men and black men. Well, some, you got some guys out there being sour, but for the most part, guys have nothing to say about it. But she said it herself. She feels she may be too masculine. Pretty much explain why guys said no much. But let her continue.
the truth is, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I don't know how to explain that. I don't know, but yeah, I'd be open to it. Even, and I'm gonna be honest, even I low key do be liking the quirky, nerdy white boys, y'all. Low key. It's just because I've witnessed these few white boys on my TikTok that I've came across, like who have pages and they're themselves on their page, and I'm like, you are actually quite nice. Like you're cool. Like there's nothing wrong with you. Like, sometimes you just judge outside, and maybe by like a brief seeing of them, you judge them. But there's no need. And let me tell you nothing too. When you get your hair done, don't be scared of them scissors. I wasn't gonna tell her to cut it all the way short, but she just did it so perfectly with like how she cut it. Like look how it just naturally falls right here. And like I'm gonna go with like a little brush and like brush my hair. And also I'm gonna give you some rollers, and I also have the little like overnight curls. I'm gonna try that, and then I'm also gonna have rollers. I'm gonna try that too. Just try different things to see like what I like best. And also if it is kind of straight, I can just use the thermal brush and like just have the ends. Like she chopped all the ends. I love it. She kind of basically layered all the ends. I love that because now if I have it straight, it'll still look like
You be careless about it.
And trying to get your money up, like it's such a thing we hear men say, but women are working so hard. Like every woman I know has had so many jobs, has worked in so many different fields, and like we're still relatively young as well.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
Why is the sentiment that men have to like grind so hard and they can't balance like a relationship, or like they can't do both when like women do it so easily?
You heard her. Women do it so easily. And you'd be surprised to find guys are not being bothered. Guys are going where they're welcome. To be sure that we find women who are not masculine, not working double shifts, not trying to get ahead too much, right? Because what happens? They end up turning like you, judging.
My unpopular opinion is black men actually don't have it that hard, and they actually have all the tools set out for them. They're just hell-bent on making life harder for them. Because if you had a hard life, you have more grit to you. And because you have more grit to you, you can get more respect because you've been through right? And this is not only on black men, but this is a part of the community. Black people have this really hung up idea that if you don't have any grit to you, you don't earn any respect. And I think what people are mistaking for grit is trauma, and they're trying to traumatize you into respecting them. This goes back to enslaved times, and that's a video for a whole other day. But you don't need to beat a person into submission for them to respect you. Circle back, black men have a really hard time understanding that, because the boys at school that got the most respect was niggas that was gonna punch you in your face if you said good morning to them. The niggas that were popping were the niggas on the football team or the basketball team that could gang bang, sell drugs, and come to school. Like, they were like the coolest niggas, right? But in reality, the truth is that was a traumatized 16, 17-year-old that should not have been getting the most negative attention as he should, but he processed it wrong. He thought the attention was a good thing. The attention was us all in shock that you're actually doing this 16, 17. So now we have a young man who has grown up to his age and is like, well, nobody really supported me. But there was a part of it that he made a conscious choice to not get supported. You choose popularity over security, that's on you. If everybody's telling you you're a great basketball player, stay in the game and out the streets, and you say no, that's on you. If they give you a chance to go back to school and you say no because you don't want to be out of the loop, that's on you. It's not the systems against you, it's you against yourself.
I figured that's the perfect time to use it. What grinds my gears, right, is she's mentioning the men she's attracted to. Because actually, as a matter of fact, most black men aren't doing that. They aren't gangbanging. They aren't doing these things. But you know what? You'd find that you weren't attracted to them because they're too nice, right? Those are the guys you wouldn't bother with. Then what do you say? Oh, you need to work on yourself. So that's what guys are doing now. She's not going to talk about, oh, I see. Like, I'm sure if I go through another video of hers, I'll see, oh, the men are not talking to me anymore. She's on TikTok, right? It's a given.
Entitlement that some white women have over black men, that I cannot wrap my head around it. Like, we all know how a lot of black men like to play in our face. Let's just scroll through Instagram reels for like 5 minutes. There's just this obsession with praising white women and simultaneously bringing down black women in order to further oneself from the negative effects that come with being black. It's like, if I actively remove myself from my black counterpart and simultaneously align myself with my white counterparts, somehow I've won the game, I'm accepted, I'm in the club. And this isn't even just a thing with black men, although I think it's most prevalently done within the black community, simply because on the desirability totem pole, we're down here. But other men do this too, and white women have clocked that. They know that they are the standard. They know that this is their place, and that a lot of men, even if they aren't in the same racial group, will want them. And I think this has led to some type of like intersectional female competition, where it's like, yeah, as a white woman, if I take a guy from this other white girl, it's like, yeah, I won. I got my 5-second spurt of dopamine in my brain. Cool. But it's an entirely other thing if I get a black man from a black woman. It's like, not only did I win and steal your man, but I also was able to jump the racial barrier. Like, naturally, you guys are supposed to, get together. That man is supposed to have some type of affinity towards you, yet he picked me. And that leads to a lot of white women just liking the idea of just like picking these men like Pokemon cards. Having this kind of monopoly over the sphere of men. I remember I was generally just like talking to this guy, and this other white girl was next to me. She was doing her little pick me, stepping in front of me, kind of just like pushing me out of the way, making this like weird ass eye contact. And I personally find an intense disgust in trying to just like fight against other women for males' attention. Like, that would never happen. So I actively like took a step back. I knew what she was doing and I let her do it. I mean, if he falls for that, yeah, he's stupid. But he ended up actually pulling me aside to talk to me, and you could just see the look of like shock on her face. I'm like, girl, what is so crazy about that? Like, what is making you feel some type of way?
White women feel entitled to black men now. When you saw in the first video, the girl saying she feels she likes white men now. So now, how do you feel they feel entitled? Like, you're not the person. You're not inside the person. Did a white girl tell you she feels entitled? You feel like they're entitled because they are picking your men like Pokemon cards. But why is that? What are you portraying that has men going that way? Listen to what the next lady says. And this next lady dates white men. She's a divestor herself and has a nerve to talk like she does. Why?
No, it's not the same. I have a lot of videos on my page explaining this, but I'll explain it again. Black women.
Look what the person said to them. Same for black women who date white women, who date white men. No, she's a divestor. She has a white boyfriend. And she's saying, no, it's not the same. Why? Why? I want to hear why it's not the same. Limited talk.
Women often date outside of their race because they have to, not because they necessarily want to. When all of their men or the men in their proximity consistently date outside of their race, what other choice do they have besides dating outside of their race? What other choice do they have? Black women are the most disrespected race and gender.
That's a who's that.
Right back to
They
the
get the
play
short
card.
end of the
Feminist play
stick
card.
all the time on literally anything you can even imagine.
Victim mentality. I've seen you talk about this.
Yes.
Now, give us some background on it, because some English people won't know what you mean.
It's just the oppression Olympics. You know, everybody wants to say, I deserve more because I'm more oppressed than you. I might say that I'm more oppressed than you because I'm black, right? And you're white. So instantly I'm more oppressed and I deserve more and my voice should be louder. And then we say, okay, well, you're a male and I'm a woman. So instantly I deserve even more because I'm a woman and you're a male, and women are more oppressed, which is totally a lie.
So it's not the same if they date outside of their race. It's just not.
Man, what did she use? The feminist playbook. Let me open it up. No, it's harder on black women. We're the most. No, this is wild. Like, I know a lady who spoke on this. She spoke on how it's kind of like an agenda to bash the black man. It's wild, and they all don't realize it. They don't realize. What did she do? Read off the feminist playbook. No white woman said this to her. No white woman said, oh, I feel entitled, or it's actually the same. Why? If you want to base it like that, right? Say, okay, all black men, which is false, because the black men you like, that's what you should say. Now, guys have no choice. They don't, because every guy that's probably down in the comments would rather choose Becky. And the ones that wouldn't would probably have to find someone who's compatible. But I don't know, maybe you're in a white area. Maybe you're in an area you're in a nice suburb area. I don't know. That's a little different. And there's no black men around. There's not much black men around. That's different. But that's not an excuse to say it's not the same. Look, your area is different from other areas. There may be areas with black women where there's tons of black men. So there's lots of eligible bachelors. So you can't say it's not the same. It may not be the same for you. I'll give you that. But you can't speak for all black women.
Who do you think you are?
Let me hold your hand when I say this. If you in any way identify with the term suburban black girl, you're going to end up with a white man. And don't ask me how I know that. Okay, fine. Ask me. As an educated black girl, you're more likely than not going to get married, or at least you're more likely than you would if you were an uneducated black woman. However, your marriage likelihood is a lot less than it would be if you were an educated white woman. And yeah, that makes sense, because who's most likely to be educated? Rich people. And who's most likely to be rich? White people. See how that connects? Great. So you and me were kind of like the black people who slipped through the cracks, who were allowed into these spaces of education. However, there's also more of us than there are our counterparts. Why? Because black men are more likely to be incarcerated.
I beg your pardon?
Men in general, less likely to get educated. So as a minority, we have less of our counterparts. And what race is the all-time common denominator in regards to interracial marriage? White people. So it's kind of fate. Oh, and let's not forget that the small pool of black men that we do have to pick from, more often than not, they're picking white women and Latinas over us. I just turned in a paper on this topic for a final project, and my soul kind of crumbled a little. Yeah, be prepared to play in the snow against your will.
She talks about education. Black men are more than likely to go to prison. I gotta say this, right? For the guys out there, because she's one of the ones, go to college, blow all my money, and men aren't doing that anymore. And I gotta say, I kind of started it. My generation, the millennials, like the way I live my life, I didn't go to college. I got a sales career, made a lot of money doing it, and moved out to the Philippines. And when I did it, I worked online, right? And I got to say this to you guys out there who want to figure it out. I have the keys. I have the keys to your future success. And it's much easier than you think. I'm sure you've seen in my comments, I hold consultations. Book a consultation. I'm telling you, if you're a black man and you want to make your own money on your own time and make a lot of it, book a consultation. I'm telling you, what I do is not even going to feel like work. Contact me and you'll see what I'm saying. it won't even feel like work for the black men that want to move further ahead. I can definitely help. But yeah, as far as this lady's saying, stop it. And that's why I'm offering the help, because I figured out the keys to make it happen. So join me on the other side.
Answering the $1,000,000 question.
Oh, here we go again.
Why do I not love being biracial? This is interesting. It's not self-hatred. It's just, like, I didn't consent to being biracial and having to deal with what it means to be biracial in this society. I'm fully aware that there's mixed people out there who grow up with a perfectly normal childhood and it doesn't affect them as much as it affects me, and that's totally fine. I'm talking about those of us who are affected by it and were negatively affected by it, especially growing up. It's not fun to be othered in society. It's not fun to be constantly wondering where you fit in and never finding a place for yourself. It's overwhelming being raised by white people, because a lot of times they raise you as white and they raise you in a way that they don't even acknowledge the fact that you're black and will have vastly different experiences than them. It's not fun to experience prejudice and racism from both sides. Not racism from black people, prejudice from black people. I don't experience colorism. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people assuming that I think I'm better than them because I have light skin, when in reality, I've always liked darker skin more than my own. It's not fun having to check other on census boxes. It's not fun going to different family get-togethers and realizing that you stick out like a sore thumb. It's not fun to have people fetishize the way you look and just absolutely obsess about your features. I'm not a zoo animal. It's not fun to constantly have people question who you are. And when you identify yourself, they say, no, you're not. You're not black. You're biracial. You're not biracial. You're black. Like, aren't you white? Isn't your parent white? You're white. Monoracial people do not have to deal with people telling them who they are consistently every single freaking day. Monoracial black people don't have to worry about fitting in with other black people. Just because I have a white parent doesn't mean that I'm white and will be treated as white in society. So most of the time, based on certain contexts, I just say that I'm black because that's how I'm treated, believe it or not. My old white friends in school knew that I had a white parent and still labeled me as their black friend. I'm not saying that I don't love myself. I'm not saying that I hate myself. I'm simply saying I do not recommend being biracial because it comes with a lot of issues, and most parents are not ready to hear that. Most people in interracial relationships who have mixed kids are ill prepared when it comes to raising mixed kids. How would they know? They're not mixed themselves. All I'm saying is I've had way more negative experiences being biracial than positive. And that's just the truth. I don't hate myself.
Yeah, if you can deal with it, the way you're saying it like you can deal with it. If you can deal with it and you got by in life with it, that means you have been dealing with it. Why are you talking about you feel that way, right? And your boyfriend is white.
Excuse me?
You're white as snow too, but your boyfriend is white. I seen a picture of your mother and father. Your father's black. That baby could come out very well being black or like you. Then what? Like, just don't live life. I don't know. This is ridiculous.
Man in an interracial relationship that has a healthy relationship with his own identity. And here is why. Number one, they fetishize their partner for their non-blackness and hold them over black women. Number two, they speak negatively on black women or on black people as a whole. Number three, they don't even identify with their own identity in blackness to then make themselves more likable or for them to feel more comfortable fitting Eurocentric standards or standards from another person of color. And four, they allow their partner to then culturally appropriate or to emulate black women without checking them or telling them what is culturally sound.
Playing victim is it's an easy way out. Yeah, it's a laziness.
Laziness is an easy way out. It's a good excuse, and it also makes you feel better about yourself.
Not to say there are no black men out there that have a healthy relationship with their own identity, but just from the ones that
Why would somebody say there's white women that have grown up in a black community and that's why they may talk black? I've known some. I grew up in Queens and I've known some. So am I going to tell her or that guy stop acting that way when they grew up around it? Like, what are you saying? Like, you don't make sense. There's white people that actually identify. I understand if you said tell them don't say the N word, but no, you can't do that. What are you talking about?
I've seen it's usually giving self-hate, or you hate black women, or both. But what do y'all think?
This trope of the strong black woman actively works against community building. We are meant to be in community with one another. We all need help. You're supposed to be a strong, independent, boss ass, blah, 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 blah. It's perpetuating this idea that we do not need to be in community with each other, which doesn't serve any of us. We have been socially conditioned for years and years and years to completely dehumanize black men. Whether you are conscious of it or not, you are taught is beneath you. And you don't understand how that starts to come out. It's easy to just, I'm gonna take this out on this person who's here with me because subconsciously I already have a belief system that you are less than me. And it's like we don't treat them in a way as if like they were a complete human being. I always tell women, like, if you are saying something to him that you would have a problem with if he said to you, that's a problem. Like you're enforcing this double standard. Like if you talk to him in a certain way that if you thought a man spoke to you, you would have a whole problem with, like you've been socialized to completely dehumanize this person, and yet you're trying to also be in relationship with a subconscious belief that you don't know is there that you need to actually be able to bring to the surface and work out.
I don't generally believe in anybody saying that they don't date their own race. What I do believe is being open to dating anybody. And I've always stood by that. And I've always said that I can't stand when people hide their significant others, and I cannot stand, which is a conversation that we've talked about because you see that in Hollywood with black men, and we can get into that conversation as well.
Ooh, I envision Insecure too.
And I have a problem where people say they don't date their own race.
So this is what I'm saying. I don't care who anybody dates. I don't. If black women are so fed up or angry with black men that they want to try white guys, fine.
Well, why is it the assumption that we're fed up or angry?
I tell you why it's an assumption. First of all, I'm not making this. I'm telling you exactly what I'm seeing said.
We are black women, by the way.
No. Dated this white guy and I told him I like men with long hair. He grew his out. Then I broke up with him because I don't date people pleasers.
You can't make this up.
I'm seeing so many black women dating out of their race now. They're dating white men. And as I'm seeing this, there's the rise of black men in their comments calling them bed wenches, which is so disgusting. They're calling them house slaves and all of these kind of things. And I just wonder, when they're calling them these things and they are quoting everything that happened in slavery and they know a lot of facts, so they're so in tune with the history, I just wonder why they're not as in tune with today, present reality, and why they don't have the awareness to understand that maybe those black women that you're speaking to grew up around black men that weren't safe and weren't healthy. Now, does this take away the fact that 400 years ago, her partner's ancestors may have, enslaved her ancestors? No. But what about if she grew up in a household where her black father beat her black mom? Or she had an uncle who was black who assaulted her, or she witnessed black men around her committing crimes, and as a result, her family lost out on so many things. What about if her reality and her history, as far back as she can recall and her parents can recall and her grandparents can recall, there were also black men causing them harm? Is she supposed to then only date black men, even though all of those things have happened and that's part of her history and her reality? Or would you say she should date no one? I just think it doesn't make sense. And you know why I think it doesn't make sense? Because it doesn't make sense. Because if you as a black man think that a black woman is in danger for dating a white man, then you would want to protect her. You wouldn't want to attack her, call her names, and spew out negativity, unless you weren't actually trying to protect her and you didn't think she was in danger. In fact, you knew she was happy and you knew she was safe, and you were just bitter and jealous. Which sounds more like the slave masters from 400 years ago. Give it a rest.
I don't know if anybody else notices this, but I noticed this thing where black women constantly speak about how...
Please go watch the video that I'm stitching for context. Everything this creator is saying, I agree with it.
I really think it's strange when I see black women talk down on other black women who decide to either date a white man or just date outside their race. And I feel like it's some form of projection. I feel like whenever I see people are like, oh, why would you want to do that when you can get a black king? But it's like, girl, because she wants to. It's her choice. She's found love there, right? Sometimes I think they want to do it, but they don't know how to do it, so they talk down on these black women. And even in the comment section, you can see some of them in there talking down and saying, oh, why would you do that? Why would you want to do that? But it's like black men do this all the time. They date outside their race. I don't see them complaining about it. Why must we do this to our
Black men in general, and this is a generalization, seem to appreciate women like me more than white men. There seems to be a disconnect between strong, powerful white men and strong, powerful white women. There feels like I'm a lot of woman. I say what I want to say. I do what I want to do. And that for some reason threatens a lot of men. There's a certain type of men that don't like that. They think I'm too loud or I'm too brass but I'm just acting like a man. You know, I'm not acting like anything.
See, you heard what she said? I'm just acting like a man. That's why white men aren't dealing with you. And black men are used to Shaquana, Shaquasia, with the loud mouth, which is 10 times worse than you. And also, some black men may be there for a good time, not for a long time. Like I know, for instance, 50 Cent Smash, and he was there for a good time, not for a long time. So do you have some falling in love with you? I'm sure you do, but I'm sure you may be much softer than what they're used to.
Acting like myself, and it's similar to what a man would do, and which would be fine. And there's something about black men that like that. They think that's cute, and they're turned on by my outrageousness or the fact that I don't give a or that I want, that I'll say the thing. And so I like that. So there doesn't feel like such an imbalance. There's definitely like a cultural thing where black men, it feels like they appreciate that kind of thing more. And so that's attractive, Yeah. Yeah. As a woman, you want to be desired, and you want men who want to have sex with you and are like turned on by your strength, not emasculated by your strength.
Oh.
Like my strength shouldn't make you feel weak. It should make you feel strong.
Right.
That's how I think.
Everything in this video, you see women talking about I was shamed for dating a white man, black men, black women. A lot of them feel like we belong to them. Especially, I saw it happen with the passport bros. Guys are traveling to other cultures, and black women made a big hoopla about it. But in this video, you see a lot of back and forth. This is what I have to say to everything, to everyone, right? Even to this lady here, this white lady, even the white people. Because what she's saying, like she's saying black men won't know. It's a difference. Not every black man wants you. You understand? You got some men that may like white women, some men like black women. Everybody has their own preference. Now, certain things happen in their life that may change their preferences. Like with a lot of black guys who are getting back home, or women who are loud, who they don't want to deal with, who have an attitude, who choose wrong, they choose not to deal with them. They may preference white woman or another woman, or they may find someone else attractive outside of the community. Same thing with the woman. But this is the big difference. There is a lot more push on the woman's side towards the men's side. And nowadays, we see this big thing where women are having double standards. And that's wild. How are you ladies having double standards towards men? That was something men did back in the day. But nowadays, men are saying, do what you want. Like, there's no Dr. Umars on this side. Dr. Umar will get on you and say, why are you dating that that white man? Or we just saw it in a video I recently react to on Could Have Been Love, where he's like, black queens forever, snow bunnies never, or something like that, right? I'm saying on both sides, it shouldn't be like that. Let me get into the next video.
shouldn't date because you can't just continuously take from a man.
Yes.
Like, you have to bring something not to the table, but you have to also bring some like value.
Yeah, agreed.
Right, and you also have to come with your own.
Yeah,
you
because
are
then you're not
attractive.
thirsty.
Then
You're not thirsty.
You
If
are-
not, you look hungry for a meal. Like
Yeah.
the way that girls are running for restaurant, you're not that hungry. Telling me that you ain't eating a meal all day and you're waiting for this man to feed your stomach.
That one Nobu. Stop it, ladies.
Get your nutrition.
Okay, guys, I have much to say. Sometimes when men agree with me too much, I feel like I need to backtrack because now I feel like Candace Owens, and it's just not that type of party. It's not that type of party. Anyways, if you guys haven't seen my last post, basically I said that someone said to me that I'm promoting struggle love in the black community because I said there's nothing wrong with meeting your date, like getting the train to meet your date if it's the first date.
Yeah.
Like he shouldn't know your address sort of thing. Do me a favor, get a bag. Just pack it in, yeah? Cool. And then you have certain girls saying, if he doesn't pick me up on the first date and send me money for cab on the first date, then he ain't this. Or if he doesn't buy me this on that. And have you guys ever thought about like this? Like, your heart don't beat like that. Because if you was really about that life and you actually got it like that, I don't think you would have to voice it. Because the likes of Jada Wade or Desdi, or these are your queens, like these are the people that you look up to, they don't have to say that because that's the lifestyle they already have. It's just a box standard. That is not your standard for yourself, which is why you feel like you have to voice it. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think it's so ridiculous. Like, you don't live that sort of life yourself. And like when people say like you will naturally attract the people that you're supposed to attract based on the level that you're on, that's a real thing. That's why you're attracting the guys that are hesitant to pay for cabs for them to see you or to buy you back on this first date or whatever, because you don't do that for yourself. You're not on that level yourself. Do you get? Like, don't get me wrong, I think everyone is entitled to want what they want. Like when a woman says, oh, I want to get married to a rich man and I want to be a housewife, a lot of guys get mad when they say that. Like a lot of guys get mad at those things. I'm like, first of all, why'd you get mad? Why don't you want to be that rich man? Like, aim higher. Second of all, is people can want what they want, but not everyone's going to get it. I know that's not the sort of life I want to live. I want to be rich. I don't want my husband to be rich. Yeah, let's talk about it. But it's like, you need to let people be delusional. Like, what someone else wants has nothing to do with me. Do you understand? But like, the part I don't understand is what makes you people think.
I gotta stop her because she was cooking until she said, I want to be rich and I want my husband to be richer. She lost me. That went way, everything she said went out the window, throw her out the window. No good, right? Now, don't you think, because she said before, you're meeting the kind of men that are how you are. I don't think that's the case. Like, and then when she said what she said after, I said, okay, I see why she said that. She's lost. Like, no, men are done. That's why men are saying, oh, this, and this. That's why men are saying things like, oh, the budget is $30 on the first date. Because if I'm meeting you on the first date, why am I blowing money? Why am I buying you? You're right about that. Why am I paying for your grab? Why am I doing this? I don't know. I could be a creep. You give me the address to your house. Like, why am I doing all of this? It's not worth it just for me to go on 3 dates with you and then you to decide I don't want him. Men are done playing that game, and more need to wake up because men realize it's definitely more to life than dealing with a woman like that.
We agree.